Last update, the 5th of October 2018 by Azman, Ujang, Kuala Lumpur, May 10. Bernama, the newly formed Pakatan Harapan (PH) coalition of 4 opposition parties secured a stunning victory in Malaysia's just concluded general election that ended over 60 years of uninterrupted rule by the Barisan Nasional (BN). Former Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, at almost 93 years old, achieved what virtually everyone thought was the impossible task of galvanizing mass support against the once impregnable BN's grip on power, which before today's historic defeat was the world's longest ruling political party. Dr. Mahathir is expected to be sworn in as Malaysia's 7th Prime Minister later today. Dr. Mahathir was the 4th Prime Minister and, ironically, the same man who led the BN to victory in 5 successive general elections from 1982 to 1999. When the final results were announced by Election Commission Chairman Tan Sri Hashim Abdullah at around 4:45 a.m., PH, which fought what is billed as the mother of all elections using its affiliate party Keadilan Rakyat's (PKR) light blue eye symbol, won 113 out of 222 seats in parliament for a simple majority. It is expected to strengthen further its strength in parliament with 8 more seats that were won by party Warisan Sabah, which had announced recently that it would go into a pact with PH at the federal level. The BN, led by caretaker Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak, managed to win only 79 seats, a far cry from 132 that it had in the last parliament seats. Signs of a political tsunami or people's power began to emerge from around 10 p.m. when the BN lost states like Malacca and Negri Sembilan to PH, while the Islamist PA retained Kelantan with even bigger margins and got an unexpected bonus by winning Terengganu. PH's component parties PKR and DAP retained Malaysia's industrial states of Selangor and Penang even more convincingly. 2 others, Perak and Kedah, tussles and ended up with a hung state legislative assembly each, but how the political drama in these states would play out would become more apparent in the coming hours. Even Sabah and Sarawak, long dubbed the BN's fixed deposit states for always delivering the parliamentary seats to enable the BN to hold power in Putrajaya, the federal administrative capital, crumbled under the sheer weight of a more discerning electorate with sizable voters from Generation Y. Sabah, led by Chief Minister Tan Sri Muzaman for the last 15 years at press time, remained in a deadlock at the state legislature level, with BN winning 29 seats, Warisan, 21, DAP and PKR, both in PH, with 6 and 2 respectively, with another 2 seats won by Party Solidarity Tanah Airku. Party officials said talks would be held later today to thrash out the stalemate on which party would get to form the new state government. The opposition parties performed better in the battle for parliamentary seats, with Warisan winning 8-3 each for DAP and PKR and 1 seat for Solidarity. It was obvious that the once mighty BN's defeat was further fueled by the far-reaching influence that the opposition wielded over the social media, bombarding it with issues of cost of living that has gone up, hitting everybody's pocket after Najib introduced the 6% goods and services tax (GST) in 2014. The BN's popularity shrank further in the last few years, with the 1MDB debacle haunting Najib, coupled with financial problems within Felda that unsettled the palm oil smallholders, and lately the controversial legislations like the Anti-Fake News Act that was rushed through Parliament just before its dissolution on April 7. Prime Minister-elect Dr. Mahathir has vowed as the key promise in the PH election manifesto to abolish the GST if the party came to power, with the same fate to await the anti-fake news law. And in quick succession, too, just days before Malaysians went to the polls to decide their government for the next 5 years, UMNO, the dominant party in BN, expelled prominent party veterans Tun Dame Zainuddin and Tan Sri Rafid Aziz for campaigning in support of Dr. Mahathir. 2 other veterans, Tan Sri Rais Yadim and Tan Sri Syed Hamid Al-Bar, have also joined the growing chorus for a change within the party that further eroded its support base, especially among cross-sections of members who felt that there should be room for dissent in order to take UMNO out of its comfort zone. As many as 6 senior BN cabinet ministers and 2 Menteri Besar were soundly defeated at the polls, and this is unprecedented. The casualties were Transport Minister and MCA President Datuk Seri Leo Tiong Lai, Health Minister and MIC President Datuk Seri Drive S. Sebramenum, Plantation Industry and Commodities Minister Datuk Seri Masu Kiong, Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Shabarichi, Ministers in the Prime Minister's Department Datuk Seri Jamil Kir Baharaman, Datuk Seri Abdul Rahman Dalan, Minister of Communications and Multimedia Datuk Seri Dr. Salased Karuik, Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Johari Ghani, Johor Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Khaled Nordin and Kedah Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Ahmad Basha MD Hanipa. The unheralded pace at which Pakatan Harapan swept into power in the wee hours of the morning, as millions of Malaysians had to endure a sleepless night glued to their television or smartphones to follow the results of the election, is nothing short of a miracle. Malaysians at large couldn't help but be amazed by the sheer physical stamina of Dr. Mahathir himself as he crisscrossed the country on his campaign trail despite his age, sending a clear message of his crusade to put right the many wrongs that he said were committed by the outgoing government. It's almost 15 years ago that Dr. Mahathir quit as Prime Minister after over 2 decades in office, and the government to be formed shortly after his swearing in certainly has a lot on its plate to usher in a whole new era for Malaysia. For one thing, Malaysians who are so used to seeing a male-dominated cabinet and all too familiar faces that will get a fresh one, and to top it up, its first woman Deputy Prime Minister. The PH election manifesto states that PKR President Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Aziz Ismail is slated as Dr. Mahathir's deputy if the party came to power. Rafina Aziz, the former International Trade and Industry Minister, otherwise known as Malaysia's Iron Lady, perhaps best sums up the sentiment of like-minded Malaysians who woke up this morning with a new dawn on the horizon. She said, "A new chapter in our history has started to be written." It is exactly 4:15 a.m. on this historic day, May 10, 2018. I am too excited to sleep. I never imagined that I would live to see this day. The day the Rakyat showed their wisdom in choosing a new government for the next 5 years, and registering so strongly their disdain and rejection of corruption, poor governance and abuse of authority. She said the focus ought to be on putting the nation back on the right track and to bring back Malaysia to its glory days, including to rebuild its tarnished image and dignity. Bernama previous top story.